Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to be learning how to approach, flirt, and hopefully pick up some women in a grocery store. When I was trying to think of a video idea for this week, one of my brothers actually suggested that I take another look at a series called How to Meet Women in a Grocery Store. If that sounds slightly familiar, it might be because H3H3 did a video on it, and he more so did the video on the actual channel, which was called Expert Village, and he briefly showed, I think it was either one or two of the videos, but personally, I believe this series deserves to be looked at from start to finish, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing this week. Of course, the first question I have is, why is it specifically a grocery store? I don't think I've ever heard of someone meet someone in a grocery store and be like, yeah, we fell in love, we met in the produce aisle, he asked me if I needed a bag for my apples, it was beautiful. But maybe that's why he's making this video. He's like, people don't know how to approach people in a grocery store, and that must be the reason that people aren't meeting each other in a grocery store. Not because maybe nobody wants to meet someone in a grocery store. Who the hell am I kidding? How could I forget this video existed?
You were buying celery.
You were buying rosé. Shout out Whole Foods. Always love that place.
Of course, before we start the video, we have to do this week's sweaty shout out. I am so pissed at myself because I filmed my sweaty shoutouts on a separate SD card because my other SD card like ran out of space, and of course that SD card corrupted because that's just my fucking luck. So unfortunately the next couple sweaty shoutouts are actually going to be just audio only. I think it's only going to be 2 videos that end up being this way. I'm really sorry in advance. I know it's super fucking annoying, so we're just gonna have to deal with the dancing Animal Crossings guy. He's cute though. Anyways, this week's sweaty shoutout goes to Bella X Rubio, and she sent this tweet. Wattpad authors trying to figure out a way to describe Harry Styles' eyes without saying green orbs. Of course, if you want a sweaty shout out for yourself, all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, which makes you a sweaty, and then follow me on Instagram, and then send me your favorite meme of the week on Instagram, and you might get chosen. Anyways, the first one is called How to Dress to Meet Women at a Grocery Store. I like how this is a very preemptive video, like in the sense that you're not just going to the grocery store and you happen to see someone you're attracted to and you try to pick them up. No, you are dressing as if you're gonna find someone cute at the grocery store, and then you're gonna flirt with them.
Hey everyone. My name's Alan, co-founder of AskRomeo.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
And on behalf of Expert Village.
I just checked through all the videos and the intro for all of them is the exact same. They both have these random cuts where there's no audio. It's so weird.
How to dress when you're going to meet somebody at the supermarket. So when you go out to the supermarket, it's important that you dress casually, dress how you normally would.
You just know that that woman in the back caught a glimpse of that camera and went, get me the fuck out of this frame.
But at the same time, you want to make sure that all your basic needs are taken care of. So you need to make sure your teeth are brushed. Toothbrush. It helps.
I feel like brushing your teeth is something like you just should do every morning. Who is this directed to? Why is it specifically like, I'm not brushing my teeth this morning, but when I go to the grocery store at 2 p.m., that's when I'll do it.
You need to make sure that you're clean. You've used soap. You've used shampoo. You've used conditioner.
I love how this guy is going through the effort of grabbing products for us to use and trying to show them to us, but the way this video is cropped, we can't see shit.
You also want to make sure that you're coming out dressed as you. So you don't want to come in wearing a 3-piece tux, unless that's what you're wearing when you go out.
Unless it's what you wear when you go out, then fine, fuck it, wear your fucking 3-piece tux. I'm just telling you, if you want to get a girl in the grocery store, don't wear a fucking 3-piece tux.
The most important thing is that you be ready every time you go out. So you don't just prepare for one meeting. It's every time you go out, you're ready to go, you're prepared, because you never know when somebody new is going to cross your path.
The way he's talking about this, it sounds like he's preparing for war. Listen, you're sitting in aisle 6, you're not prepared that morning, and suddenly a zombie jumps out. What are you gonna do? Who is going to the grocery store this done up? When I'm pulling up to the grocery store, I look like a damn mess. I really do, and it's probably not the best idea because for some reason, my grocery store, or my local grocery store in specific, there are a lot of attractive people in there all of the time. I have no idea why, but I just know that I look terrible every time I go in. The next one's called How to Make Eye Contact with Women. He's covering literally every base.
So that was a perfect example of great eye contact.
Are we sure about that? He was giving her a death stare.
There's 3 steps that you want to keep in mind when you're making eye contact.
Don't blink, ever. Like, never blink again.
The first one is to hold that eye contact. So when you two invariably catch eyes, you want to make sure that you lock and you continue to look at her. Second is to smile. So smile as you approach. Think of a pleasant thought. Bring something nice into your head. Bring a genuine smile. And wait for her to look down. Wait for her to do that kind of blush, look down look.
Is the third step to kill her? There is some weird ass energy to this that I don't like. I don't like the energy of this one. The next one, though, on a lighter note, is how to smile at women in a grocery store.
Donuts. Now that makes me smile.
What? Such a weird thing to put in the video.
Your smile is going to be one of the first and most important things that the woman's going to notice about you when you come up and talk to her. So your smile needs to be natural, and there's a couple of ways you can do that. The first is by bringing something really happy to your mind. Smiling actually releases endorphins, so by smiling, it'll actually make you happier, and it'll actually make you less nervous for when you go talk to her, and make you appear more natural and more confident. And that is how to smile.
If you want to know how to smile, just smile. How did this guy stretch this into a minute-long tutorial? Just fucking smile. We're getting into the nitty-gritty here. How to approach women at grocery store.
I love this cart that you have here. You've done absolute wonders with it.
No, I picked it out myself. Thank you.
I can tell.
I really like your shirt.
Thank you. Honestly, it was your eyeshadow that drew me to me. It's such a perfect color for your face. All right, hold 1 second. So what you're seeing here is the aftermath of a great approach.
This conversation is my worst nightmare. Can you imagine going into a grocery store, you have your cart, and everyone puts weird fucking shit in their cart, okay? Can we all accept that, like, we don't all go into a grocery store all of the time and go, here's my lettuce, here's my tomatoes. Like, sometimes there's some weird ass shit in there. Can you imagine you're sitting there with your weird cart of random shit, and some guy comes up to you and is like, I like your cart. Really speaks to you. I can tell you chose it. Like, fuck off!
There are a couple pieces that make up a good approach. The first is the body language. After you've made the eye contact, how are you standing?
That woman is dead inside.
So it's important that you give her status or you give her your attention by pointing your hips towards her.
I don't think anybody wants anyone's hips pointed towards them at a grocery store. I think they just want to get in, get their shit, and get out.
So I'll shift like this, and I'll give her, direction with my body.
That woman looks like she wants none of his body language.
The second is the smile. So I want to make sure I'm smiling at her, and we're holding that eye contact. And the last part is what you actually say. So there's two different ways of doing it. The first, or as I call a direct method, is to come up and make your intentions very clear. Something along the lines of, hey, how are you doing today? I saw you, and I just had to come up and talk to you.
Alan, I've got to ask, when is the lesson where we listen to the way that the woman has said hello back and realize she barely said hello, take that cue and realize maybe she doesn't want to talk in this grocery store right now, direct our hips away from her and walk out of the aisle and leave her the fuck alone?
My name's Alan. What's your name?
April.
April.
Is she an ASMR artist? Like, I can't hear her.
It was an absolute pleasure to meet you today. And that way I'm making my intentions very clear.
And I think she's made her intentions clear that she's not that interested.
I've come up to flirt with her and probably escalate it further once I get out of here.
That sounds like a threat.
The other way is to be a little bit more indirect with my method, or not make my intentions clear right off the bat. So I'd come up to her and say, hey, how are you doing today? I think that this would be absolutely perfect for your hair. And I saw you and I just had to tell you that you should get one of these.
Can you imagine he did this, but he picked up like a wart removal thing and was like, I think this will really improve your look. Like, I think this is just for you.
For yourself. Don't you think? I think it would actually go really well with your outfit right now. No, not at all?
Maybe.
You don't think so?
Oh my god! I know that the blonde girl is obviously in on this and is like an actor, but the way that she's acting, it seems like she isn't, and she's just some random woman that they went up to and were like, hey, do you want to, like, be a part of this video? Because she does not look into this at all. He's also picking up on none of her cues and just keeps going.
All right, what you definitely need is one of these scrunchies then. Pink? Pink's your color. Pink? It's a good color scrunchie for you. Here, I'll throw that in there, and you'll take this. It's good, right? And that was playful, and it was fun, I was flirty.
I don't... Playful, fun, and flirty? Are we sure?
I might have even touched on the arm here, something innocuous or not very offensive.
She definitely doesn't look uncomfortable at all. The next one's called How to Respect a Woman's Privacy at Grocery Store. And it's funny because this video is 2 minutes and 20 seconds long, and I didn't realize it takes 2 minutes and 20 seconds to say, just leave her alone.
How to, when you're in a grocery store, make it look like you're not meeting somebody at a grocery store. You want to make sure that you're responsible for the way that she looks to herself and the other people around her. You want to respect her privacy because she has friends and relatives that may be shopping in this exact same store, or it may get back to them. So you want to, and she has to come in here in the future. So you want to make sure that you're responsible for how she appears to the other people. What you don't want to do is make her look bad. So there's a couple of ways you can do that.
What? Just call it what it is. You're trying to not be that guy who's randomly coming up to a woman in an aisle being like, hey, how are you? Without seeming like you at least know her. This has nothing to do with the woman.
The first is by the placement of your body.
Where are the hips being directed this time, Alan?
What I do want to do is I want to talk to her like we're old friends. So I can be standing here and we can be talking like this. I can be talking over my shoulder. Or I can stand like this and I can talk to her over my shoulder like that. Right? Either way, it's going to give the appearance that we're old friends. So anybody who comes up, it just looks like we're talking in the middle of a grocery store. And to her, it actually feels that way. And mentally, it'll feel to her like we've known each other for a lot longer than we have.
I don't think so.
You also want to be careful about what you're talking about.
Hey, I saw you over in aisle 6 earlier and I just had to come up. My name's Alan. Where do you live? What's your blood type? How many siblings do you have? Do you live alone? Are you single? Do you have any animals, any pets?
So you don't want to start off right off the bat with where do you live. She might not be comfortable giving that information to you, especially if this is her neighborhood grocery store. So you want to get that information casually.
Okay, so instead of doing what I just did, I'll do something a little bit more sneaky, like, what's the first letter of your blood type?
With the physical contact, you want to make sure that the stuff you're doing is innocent, right?
Who has ever been picked up and is telling their friends and is like, it felt really good. Like, what? This guy's giving himself way too much credit. So we've learned how to approach them, smile at them, all that good stuff, but we are finally getting into how to flirt with women. Very interesting location choice, the ace bandage aisle.
Flirting really is a conversation that's playful and fun with sexual undertones or overtures, using a prop in an area. So, ace bandages. All right, here is exactly what you need. You need one of these, and you can actually wear it outside of your jeans.
No way.
Yeah, seriously, you would look so cool with an ace bandage over your jeans. You'll set a new fashion trend.
Yeah.
This is painful.
So, are you getting ready to get out of here soon?
Yeah, in a few minutes. I've been shopping for hours.
You have been shopping for hours.
Yep.
That reply makes it sound like he's been stalking her through the aisles the entire time.
What did you need that took you hours to find? Are you having that much trouble finding stuff?
I had to get a whole lot of ace bandages.
And what are you doing with ace bandages?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Mm-hmm.
This shit just keeps getting weirder. I will say though, that video does make me wonder, what if I'm in an aisle and there's no ace bandages? Like, what do I talk about? But luckily, our boy Alan has a video on conversation tips. That is also terrible.
So, I saw you over here and I had to come talk to you. I have a very important question I need to ask you.
Yes.
All right? So, when you're picking out donuts, which of the three do you like best? Because everyone has a favorite, you know? My favorite is definitely the chocolate.
Zayn Malik could be the person who's coming up to me in a grocery store saying this shit, and I'd still be like, oh my god, I'm really uncomfortable, please leave me alone.
I mean, you would like, you know, are you just trying to be argumentative? I know, you really like the powdered sugar, and then I came up and you're like, damn it, he said I like powdered sugar. Now I can't. I gotta like plain cake donuts.
Are you trying to fight with me right now over donuts in a grocery store in this fucking aisle right now? Let me make this very clear. Do you know who I am? My name is Alan, and the only time I go to grocery stores is when I'm fully prepared, and I will throw down over these donuts.
All right, so what you just saw was an example of conversations about grocery store related subjects.
I love how they have to do these in a grocery store for the sake of the videos, and then you've got people actually grocery shopping, watching in on this shit, like what the fuck is going on here? Moving on, we're gonna learn how to establish some common ground with women.
How to ask questions that are fun and intriguing. So when you're talking to somebody inside a supermarket, now you want to find out a little bit more about them. So when you're talking to them, there are questions you want to ask until you find one that bites, until you find one that the two of you can connect on. Now that connection should be on the level of emotion, not on the level of facts.
This guy's trying to have deep chats in a bread aisle.
So it's not that you grew up in the same town or you went to the same school, but rather you shared the same emotional experience in a small town or a large town. That's how you connect, not on the level of fact, but on the level of emotion. So there's a couple different things you want to touch on. One of the first that I always like to go to is, where did you grow up? Not where are you from, because that's boring, but where did you grow up?
He's a little bit prickly delivering that one.
Not asking where did you grow up or something stupid like that, Jim.
And you want to touch on all of these different areas until you find one that bites. One that makes her eyes open a little bit wider.
Just ask for her number. Oh my god. Just ask for her fucking number. Now, if you thought that learning how to smile or look at women at a grocery store was the only kind of physical lessons we'd be getting, oh no. We're also getting body language for meeting women at a grocery store.
How to have confidence.
That was an uncomfortably long pan.
The first and most important is your body language. You want to make sure that you have an open stance or an open posture. So your legs should be a little bit further than shoulder width apart, and you should be open in a comfortable stance.
Please don't.
Second thing you want to worry about is your voice intonation. You want a low, steady tone and steady pace.
Hello, I saw you over in aisle 4. Can I please get your number?
Now that we know how to look and act confident and have the perfect nonverbal cues, it's time that we look into physical contact, because yes, he actually has a video on that too.
When you're meeting somebody, it's very important that you start that physical contact early.
I don't think that's a good idea. Can you imagine that you're just going through the aisles, some guy comes up to you, starts chatting with you, and within like 2 quick exchanges of like, hi, how are you? I'm good, thanks, how are you? Great, thanks. He goes and tries to touch you.
That you do things that are going to be comfortable for them, to let them know, A, that you're interested, and B, that you're going to be physical with them as the relationship progresses.
It's a grocery store. What is not clicking? Like, there's no way that you can touch some random stranger you don't know and make it not seem weird. You just don't do that.
So safe areas to touch: shoulder, right? Arm, or even forearm area. You can touch the side of the leg.
No! What the fuck? In what situation would that make sense? Somebody please explain to me when touching a stranger's thigh in the middle of a grocery store after like talking to them for like 30 seconds, when is that appropriate?
As long as you're using the back side of your hand. When you start touching with the inside, it gets more uncomfortable. You can put your hand on the small of her back, right? And this is a little bit more comfortable.
No, it's not. I really don't think it is. What kind of conversation is this guy having in a grocery store that would prompt him to put his hand on the small of a woman's back? What?
If you start raising it up too high, it gets less and less comfortable. You start dropping it down, again, it gets less and less comfortable.
Also, that's when it starts to get uncomfortable, according to Alan here. Now, the final video that Alan has left us for whenever we need to refer back when it comes to grocery store related flirting is how to pick up female employees at the grocery store.
Talking to employees. When you're at a grocery store, you can talk to customers, but occasionally you'll notice that an employee will catch your eye. Employees are great people to talk to. A, because they have to be nice to you. They're paid to be nice to you.
Oh my god, I wasn't expecting him to actually say that. See, flirting with female employees is a lot easier than customers because they're being paid to be nice to you, and if they put up too big of a fuss, you can try to get them fired.
But B, they're looking for somebody to distract them from their work. They're looking for somebody, or at least something to do, to give them a reason not to be stocking or shelving or pricing.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but I don't think you're the reason they're looking for.
Make a joke about what they're doing. Ask, why they're pricing it, or, whether they're sticking stickers on the wall. Whatever you do, you can talk to somebody anywhere, anytime. And employees are great people to talk to, just like regular customers.
Just weird. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learning how to flirt with women in a grocery store. Some very enlightening stuff. If you guys did enjoy the video, feel free to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. If you want to follow me outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, which are both Aonso. And otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video yet again that my Music Mondays are now live on my Instagram. So if you've been missing my Music Monday series here on YouTube, you can now see the new version of it on my Instagram stories. So obviously the name means that new updates are every Monday, which means the next segment will be up tomorrow, but previous segments are put on a highlight on my story. So if you missed previous weeks, you can just go look at them there. But yeah, if you're interested, feel free to go check it out. If not, that's totally cool too.